We continue to talk about the basic structures within the cell so we can understand how they function. And this time we're going to take a look at the rough and smooth endoplasmic reticulums, the Golgi apparatus, and the mitochondria. So just outside the nucleus we have the rough and smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Sometimes to make life easier we shorten endoplasmic reticulum down to ER. So we can say the rough ER or the RER just because endoplasmic reticulum is a mouthful and can be tedious to write. So what the endoplasmic reticulum is it's a series of folded membranes and tubes that are connected to the nucleus. They're used for synthesizing different chemicals. The rough endoplasmic reticulum gets its name because it has ribosomes embedded all throughout its surface. So all throughout the membrane of the rough endoplasmic reticulum, you have these ribosomes. And just like the free-floating ribosomes within the cytoplasm, these ribosomes are used for making proteins. The difference is that the rough ER typically is making proteins that are going to have to be packaged and sent off somewhere else. The smooth ER is connected to the rough ER, and the dividing point between the two of them can be a little bit blurry, but in general we say that the rough ER has ribosomes and the smooth ER does not. So the smooth ER, what it does is it will make lipids and carbohydrates and other large molecules, which it then packages up for transport. From there, those chemicals get transported to the Golgi apparatus, or sometimes it's called the Golgi body. It's the same thing either way. What the Golgi apparatus does is it's kind of like a post office. What it does is it modifies anything that it needs to ensure that they remain functional, and then it sorts and repackages it. And then it will bubble them off into individual vesicles and send them to wherever they need to go. Oftentimes, vesicles created by the Golgi apparatus are destined for outside the cell, which is why they need to be in the vesicle in the first place. They need to be able to have the vesicle merge with the cell membrane in order to release them into the environment. However, that's not always the case. The Golgi apparatus also makes lysosomes. And remember that lysosomes are filled with those toxic, destructive chemicals that you don't want interacting with the rest of the cell unless you really have to. The other key organelle, possibly the most mimetic of organelles, is the mitochondria. The mitochondria acts like a factory. It provides energy for the cell by making a chemical that we call ATP. And we will get into that process much more in Biology 20. So cells that need lots of energy, like your muscles and your brain, they have lots of mitochondria in them. And those chemical reactions allow the mitochondria to convert food into energy that is usable by the cell. And also, with this particular diagram I'm showing you, mitochondria has its own DNA. And it's actually structured a little bit differently from the DNA within the nucleus. Most interesting thing about that DNA only comes from the mother. None of that DNA is the father's. So your mom actually contributes a little bit more genetic information than your dad does.